Hey folks, hope you're having a great Monday wherever you are. I'm getting tired of the snow, quite frankly. I think we got about 10, 11 inches or so a couple days ago. We got another 7 yesterday, and we're expecting more Thursday night through Wednesday. I guess it's a good workout. I have a snow blower, but we also use our shovel, so it gives me a good workout, but I've had enough of it. I don't want any more snow. So I hope we don't get the snow, but we're supposed to get a little bit of snow throughout the week and then another storm Thursday through Friday. So wherever you are, I hope you're safe and I hope you're not getting dumped with too much snow. I mean, snow can be pretty, but too much of it is a pain in the neck as far as I'm concerned. But for the snow lovers out there, let it snow, I guess. So I thought I would jump on and talk about what does Rich's centering prayer schedule look like. I thought if I shared what I do, it might help others as they're thinking about theirs, whether you're an existing practitioner or whether you're new and you want to think about when should I practice centering prayer. I thought it might be helpful if I shared, my schedule. So right now, what it looks like is the first thing I do before I start my day is practice centering prayer. So before I get up and do anything, whether it's a weekday to begin work or whether it is the weekend just to enjoy the weekend, the first thing I do is a 20-minute centering prayer sit. And I incorporate what I call bookends to my practice. And I like to tell people that perhaps you want to have a centering prayer bookend, and I think many people do. And what I mean by that is, what do you do before your sit and what do you do after your sit? Now, obviously, the most important thing is to do your sit, but it's nice to put some structure around it. So for me, before the sit, I have affirmations, and these are things that are important to me, and they're personal goals, work goals, career goals, hobby goals, family goals, health goals, things that I have jotted down in my iPad, and I read through them interiorly, and then I begin my sit. And the idea there is to let them go to God. And I think of it as God and I partnering during my centering prayer sit in everything. I mean, I'm letting go of these affirmations and giving them to God and just opening to the presence and actions of God within during centering prayer. So that's kind of the first bookend. And then after my centering prayer sit, I usually just read from a book that I'm currently reading. And it could be any type of book, whether it's just a motivational book, a spiritual book, or even a novel. Whatever current book I'm reading, I'll read for 5 or 10 minutes after my sit. So that's what my centering prayer bookends look like. So that's the first sit. It's the first thing I do in the morning before I get up and do anything, whether it's the work week or the weekend. And for me, that's really the best way to start the day. It just restarts me, refreshes me, resets me. I sit with God so I can get up and walk with God. Then my second sit is usually before lunch. And I usually have a later lunch, so 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So my second sit is usually in the mid-afternoon. And I frequently do the same bookend, reading through the affirmations, letting them go to God, doing my centering prayer sit, and then reading from a book after it as the other tail end of the bookend, centering prayer bookends, as I call them. So that's what my sits look like. But I encourage you, to place your sits where they belong. Look at your life. What does life tell you? And place your sits where they belong. And don't be afraid to flex your sits and move them. So for example, a couple of years back, work was really hectic and busy, and I needed to refill this interior reservoir more frequently. I needed to sit with God more. So I actually added a third sit, but shortened each sit. So I did a sit first thing in the morning, 13-minute sit, and then I did a second sit right before lunch, and then about 2 to 3 hours after that sit, I did my third sit of 13 minutes. And it was just a hectic period of time, and I needed 3 sits. So that's what I did. when work calmed down and I was feeling better, I went back to the twice a day sits. So listen to your life, and what does your life tell you? Place your sits, let the ebbs and flows of your life tell you where to place your sits and how to do your sits. And that's what I did. And then you can also do 1-minute sits, throughout the day. So for example, I'm at work and I'm about ready to start a task, and I need to get ready for it, and it's something that I need to really think about. How am I going to attack this task? Or if I'm even just anxious about the idea of that I have to do this task now, I'll often do a 1-minute sit, then begin the task. So don't be afraid of just doing a mini sit of 1 minute, perhaps. And there's other times where I do mini sits. If I'm going to the doctor, I don't like going to the doctor. It always makes me nervous. So I will do a short 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute sit in the car in the parking lot before I walk in. If there's enough time and I've gotten there early enough, I do a 1 or 2 minute sit in the parking lot. And the other thing I'll mention is I go to a chiropractor once a month. And the first thing I do at the chiropractor is there's a room I go into, lie on kind of a bed, and there's a contraption that rolls underneath my back to loosen me up before I see the chiropractor. That's what he does with his practice. And that's for 10 minutes. So what am I doing? For 10 minutes, I'm doing a centering prayer sit at the chiropractor. So the bottom line is you can really do your sits anywhere. You can do them in planes, trains, and automobiles. I think that's the name of a movie. You can do them outside if the weather's warm. I've done sits in my car frequently. So you can do them anywhere. So that's my point is, think about your life. When is it best helpful for you to do your sits? But then also flex your sits and move your sits. If life changes, move your sits. Change the frequency of the sits. Change the duration of the sits. Listen to your life and then react accordingly with your centering prayer sit. And the most important thing is, as we sit with God and open to the presence and actions of God within, God will act in us. So we sit with God, and then we get up and we walk with God. It's not we sit down and then say to God, I'll see you again at my second sit later this afternoon. No, God gets up and walks with you the rest of the day and the rest of your duration until your next sit. God is always with you, within you, walking ahead of you, walking alongside you, and behind you, pushing you as well. So that's all. Thought I would jump on and just talk a little bit and share my own centering prayer schedule, what it looks like, and how I have flexed it and changed it as life tells me and dictates different things. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the day wherever you are. Much love to all of you. And if you have any questions about centering prayer, feel free to reach out to me in comments on this video, message me in Facebook Messenger, or even just go to my website and send me a message, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks a lot. Much love to all of you. Take care.